Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
We're back at you in Gloves Off. And today we're talking about UISD Police Department. Are they a hindrance, a nuisance, a danger, or are they actually doing something in our community? I'm going to talk to a man that thinks otherwise. Listen closely. This is not about hating police officers. This is about understanding what law enforcement should do and understanding the abuse of power, and as well as paying attention to the tyranny that we live in. We don't need that. So we need to band together and understand that some of these over-stretching of boundaries do not exist. Stay tuned. We'll be bringing our guest right now. And again, like always, click like, click share, comment. We're back at you in Gloves Off. And as I was telling you earlier, we have a great guest that's in here. He's a podcaster from Webb County. And he had an incident with the UISD Police Department. And like I said, is a police department a nuisance? Actually a safety measure? Do they have incompetence running amok? What is going on with that department? I'm going to introduce our guest. And our guest, his name is Ismael Rincon. He has his own podcast, which is called Corner News. Good evening. How are we doing today?
Doing good, Paul. Thank you for the invite. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for stepping up and letting us know your story and your concern and where everything that goes on. And when you have a podcast that's actually more like a watchdog over indecencies and injustices and abuses under the color of law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
Talk a little bit about your podcast.
So basically, I have a YouTube channel and a Facebook channel, and what I do in those channels is mostly cop watch. Many people call it auditing, or as police officers call me, instigating or harassing. They use those words because they don't approve what I do or the way I do it. They want for me to do it the way they want to, and that's not the way the First Amendment is supposed to be.
I understand. And I understand the point of view as well. You know, for the longest time, listen, folks, we're not bashing the police here. We're not going after the police. On contrary, I stand behind law enforcement in what they need to do correctly. But at the same time, we have a lot of individuals in law enforcement that make the law enforcement agencies look bad. And what happens is, it happens all the time. You have good police officers, bad police officers, and then you have complacent officers. And complacent officers, to me, is a problem because they see a problem go on and they turn the other cheek, thinking of themselves as being a great Christian. And I didn't see that. You can't do that. You have to stand up and say, you know what, you did wrong. And when something is wrong, you stand up and you say, I really hope in the near legislation, Mr. Rincon, entity here in Texas. Hopefully, they can come up with some type of protection for the good police officers that are standing up for those that are doing wrong, because those that are doing wrong need to be taken away from doing their job, really, But let's talk about an incident, because we're talking about UISD, which is United Independent School District Police Department. Something happened with you and them. What occurred?
Well, I have a couple of properties here in Webb County, and I went to pay taxes for one of my properties. I went to the Webb County tax office, which I never have issues. They know I practice recording my interactions with public employees or public servants, and most of them don't engage in a bad way. They just know what I do. They know we have a First Amendment to record, to redress our grievances, to protest. So basically, what I did, I never thought I would have issues with a school police department. So I went to the United Independent School District tax office to pay my taxes. I had legal business. This time I went with a message in my bag, with a poster in my bag that read, "Taxation is theft."
You were
Bas-
voicing your opinion. That is your
Basically,
First
yeah,
Amendment right.
exactly. That's
Okay.
a First Amendment we have. Uh, Exercising my First Amendment, protesting in a peaceful way, because I was never belligerent. I never raised my voice. I was kind, courteous. I never disrespected anyone. And so I went to the tax office with that message in my bag. At the same time, I was exercising my Second Amendment, because it's a public office. We're allowed to exercise our First Amendment, Second Amendment in public buildings where places where it's allowed. And a tax office is a public building, so I conducted my business. I didn't think much about it. Paid my taxes, and 2 days later, this incident happened. This incident that we're about to talk about.
Talk to us, because we're going to show the video right now. And what you went over there and you protested. You protested peacefully. They claimed that you were threatening them with a gun, correct?
Basically, what they're claiming is that I entered a school property with a firearm.
A school property or a school house? School.
They're claiming, because of the penal code, it's very clear. What it says is, it says you have to enter a school or educational institution. And
A tax office is not an educational institution.
A tax office is definitely not the school is definitely not a educational institution. And that's a charge I got charged with, which is actually a pretty serious felony crime.
So were you wearing a sidearm?
I was wearing, because I know places that it might be kind of hard for people to understand, if I'm allowed to, if I'm not allowed to. Every time I'm going to do something, I do my research. I research if I'm going to carry. I research if I'm allowed to carry. If there's if it's a public building, I'm allowed to protest. Because even if it's a public building, there's time, place, and manner restrictions. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't go inside yelling with a poster or standing with a poster board or something. I just peacefully protested with my sign in my back, not obstructing anything, not yelling, not doing anything. So just to be cautious, that day I wasn't wearing a firearm. It was a replica firearm that I use very often for this kind of um, situations. That I mean, generally there doesn't supposed to be a situation, but this time I took that precaution. and and even though I took that precaution, they still charged me with carrying a firearm, even though they did not investigate one bit. And that's what they need to do in order to conduct a lawful arrest. They need probable cause, and they did not have probable cause.
Okay. You know, it's a very habitual thing with the United Independent School District about the lack of investigation. There's a lot of instances. You're not the only person. I've been contacted with about over 30 people that have had issues with UISD Police Department outside the bounds.
Mm.
And some of them want to talk and some of them don't want to talk because they're afraid of retaliation of those officers. And a lot of them has to do with the lack of investigation. So that seems to be a habitual entity with that department. But let's talk about and let's show the video. What occurs here? I see them entering your house. Is that your house?
Yeah, so I have 4 kids in school. I took my 2 daughters, they go to the same school. I take them a little bit earlier. And then I went home, which I still had my older son and my 3-year-old and my 13-year-old. One of them goes to middle school and the other one to Head Start. And they go in at 7:45. So I got home. I got out, and this unmarked car with a single person inside got out of his car and pointed his rifle at me. So I didn't know who that was, so I entered my home. Just to be cautious. I'm armed as well. I want to say a couple seconds after that, I noticed a couple different UISD police units arriving. Um,
So this
and get
police officer before the entry, because we're showing the entry that he's pointing a gun at you
correct. Yeah, he pointed a gun at me. The first officer pointed a gun at me.
without anything. He didn't call your name. He didn't do anything. He just pointed a gun at you.
He said, "Hey, stop right there. You have a warrant." But he didn't announce himself like police or UISD police or. To this day, I still don't know his name. I don't know if he was an actual police officer. I don't know if he was a UISD cop. Um, I don't know. So after I saw the police officer, the UISD units, that's where I'm like, oh, this is from that incident. So I started arranging everything. I called my wife, um, and I prepared my kids and everything, and I was getting everything ready when they started kicking my door, and they broke my door and they went for me inside.
You all can see that video. We're showing it here. What happened after that?
So after that, I was, as I always do, I was making questions, asking questions to the district attorney, to the court, to the United Independent School District police department, and nobody had answers. Basically, they knew they had messed up, and nobody was talking to me. Nobody was giving me paperwork. It took, I want to say, 3 to 4 weeks to get one piece of paper from the district attorney. Which that's way too much time for them to get that paperwork to me. And I don't know if we can now. I can post the complaint here. The criminal complaint basically is the
Yes, we can post it, and and we're showing it. And tell me what it says, and I'm going to put it here for people to see.
So basically, what the criminal complaint is where he that's the affidavit where he states the facts for probable cause. So in that criminal complaint, he needs to state probable cause he believes he has in order to conduct a lawful arrest. If you read over it, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be it's long. So if you want to pause it and read over it, in order for a police officer to conduct an arrest, they need probable cause. And in my case, he said I had a firearm, which I never did. They need to conduct an investigation, and no investigation was ever conducted. I didn't get a phone call to interview me. They didn't issued a warrant to see the gun I had was a real firearm, or if I was a threat, or if I wanted to harm somebody, or they conducted zero investigation, and they conducted this arrest without investigation, basically. And I don't know if I told you this before, but this is not the first incident with UISD. One of my family members got sent to Step Academy because they suspected she was using illegal drugs. She went we took her to get drug tested, and the results were negative, but I refused to show them the actual results because they were going against due process. They were saying, if you don't bring me the results, we're gonna send her, we're gonna punish her because you didn't bring us the results. So basically, they're punishing somebody without investigating, without having any actual evidence of wrongdoings. So I mean, this is a district-wide problem. It's not only the police department; it's a district-wide issue.
But always, it seems to me, so that is there. I mean, there is a problem. There's a lot of problem within there. But what gets to me is, that you were safe, because this could have gone any whichever other way, especially when you have those hot-tempered police officers going out there gun crazy. And you see, that's where I come into play, and I say I'm against defunding the police. I'm against that. But I'm not against dismantling a unit that's incompetent. And UISD police, time and time again, especially with all the family members and all the people that have talked to me the past couple of weeks, and we have a problem. We have a serious problem. Somebody's going to get killed with these individuals out there. They're doing things under the color of law, abusing their power, malfeasance left and right out of that department. It is crazy what's going on, and nobody wants to stop it. So I could just imagine if there would have gun kicked in your door, guns ablazing, you and your kid and everybody else would have been shot just because they thought they were doing the right thing. I'm under the impression, because of what happened in Uvalde, and we saw over 300 police officers of different agencies sit around, play pocket pool for 90 minutes when our kids were being killed. Those are our kids, those are Texas kids.
Yeah.
It affected everybody. We should not allow a police of a school district to have a SWAT team. I think we should have one SWAT team, and that SWAT team should be a professional, well-trained, well-manicured SWAT team. And I believe the sheriff should have it at all costs. But here you have LPD SWAT team, here you have LISD SWAT team, UISD SWAT team, DAMIU SWAT team, sheriff SWAT team. Every one of the constables has a SWAT team.
Everyone,
and of course, all the other
wants
alphabet agencies from federal government have a SWAT team.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
everyone
should be
is
one
looking for
question.
those federal funds.
Yeah, we got a lot more usage for federal funds than that. And
Yeah,
when it comes to our kids, comes to their kids' safety, there's better ways to spend it than on somebody that's not going to do anything about
right.
it. And again, I'm not against police officers. So for those of you guys out there saying that we're not, believe me, I've seen my indecencies with the police on both spectrums. There's some very well trained officers, some good ones out there, some good ones, but then there's some bad.
And I'm not against the police either. They call me a cop hater because I expose the bad ones, and I am not a cop hater. Do I hate the bad ones? I do, yes. I hate bad police officers. Why? Because they give a bad name to not only our city, not only our community. They put in danger the good officers that are out there trying to do the right thing. So for all those people, mostly all the law enforcement agencies here call me a police agitator or a cop hater or a anti-government kind of person, which I'm not.
Listen, I don't hate anybody as well as you. In fact, I have grief for them because they need to find themselves. And what we need to do is protect our good police officers and for them to stand up, because a lot of these police officers are afraid of standing up because of retaliation. And
Exactly.
so a lot of parents in the school
Yeah.
district because of retaliation against their children. And it happens. It happens. We got stories that go galore where they go after people for any reason. And it's unfortunately their children get it. But I'm going to show the remainder of the video, and I'm also going to show the part of you walking into the tax office for people to see the difference, make your own judgment, make your own opinion. The opinion is, remember, you have a parchment of paper. It's called the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and that surpasses anything else that anybody else says in a state or a municipality. And we have the right to protest and the right to assembly peacefully.
Right.
And we have a right to carry a weapon, have a weapon as well. And we also have a right to have a well-regulated militia. And people do not understand those words. There's so many great amendments that are inside. Our fourth has been abused left and right by school district police officers towards our children. And it's an abuse that continues always. And we have to stop it. Remember, folks, good police officers need to be saved. We have to enrich that. And I'm sorry what happened with you. Anything else you could tell people what occurred?
Well, they arrested me for that felony charge. They also cited me for trespassing, which I was never warned. In order for you to get trespassed, you need to be warned.
So they don't want you to pay taxes?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I mean that would be good for me. uh, I'm dealing with that right now. I already had pretrial court, so I'm at the discovery phase right now, and they set up the trial for 30 days, I believe. So I'll be giving updates, every update I have for my cases, in my YouTube channel and my Facebook as well.
And again, we have Ismael Rincon from Corner News about what occurred with him in the UISD Police Department when they broke into his house unlawfully. Apparently, that's what you're saying, and that's what happened of the video.
Right.
Right. So
Right.
for you guys out there, be safe. We're going to leave you with this. You stay safe, Mr. Rincon.
Thank you.
Continue doing with what you're doing. Some people might not agree with some of the vocabulary, but that's just you.
Right.
And instigating, I don't find it. I see more instigating from some of the police towards you, and the hate that they show right away, that a lot of these individuals should not be wearing a badge.
And most of my content, most of my interactions, want to correct, most of my interactions with police officers are generally positive. They're like most of them are positive, but sadly, just like the news, the negative ones are the ones that go viral or the ones that get more attention. I mean, it's just like any other news, just like CNN, just like Fox News. What pays more? I mean, sadly, we have to say what pays more. I wasn't monetized before, but I was still doing it because I like showing what the right thing is when they do right and wrong. So most of my interactions are positive. They're not all of them. They're not negative, but they tell me why don't you post the good ones? I do, but they don't go viral as the other ones. And sadly, people want those kind of videos. They want negative videos because people like they like drama and and sadly, I mean, we have to give the people what they want, and as well, we have to expose the bad ones as well. So
Well, you stay safe once more, folks. Remember, comply. Like I tell everybody, comply with the police officer if they're doing something wrong. Make sure you well documented. Do not argue with them there because you do not know exactly how their day has been. You might get somebody that's a hothead. An accident happens, and it's a total different entity. But you have the right to comply. You have the right to challenge them. Don't argue with them because right now they're at the time at the place outside. They're the court judge and jury, and they're a little deity that's walking amongst us. So what you do there, you take it. If they acted wrong with you, you file a report. Do not argue. And if they're doing something wrong, continue going forward. And there's ways and means to do that if you do get something that is somebody that's bad. But don't argue,
all right,
you know. Until next
yeah,
time, I'm gonna leave you with this. You all stay safe, be safe. Until next time, Mr. Rincon, we'll be continue watching your channel, which is Corner News. And folks out there, once more, let's follow the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Next time.
thank you.